had asked your... Inactivity serves no purpose. Clear skies can do nothing to hide the brilliance of lightning. Divine bolts can strike even. But a momentary distraction.
I suppose this will do.
Another test subject.
Illusion shattered!
I got careless. You're open.
Let's light it up! Adventure time!
Picked the wrong test subject.
Adventure time! Now that's what I call treasure! Adventure time! Off we go! Off we go! Add as...
Thank you for...
Adventure time! Adventure...
Hey, Catherine! It's us! Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps? Paimon's just being enthusiastic. We're old friends now, she gets it.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see. Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however...
Don't...
To put it simply, but the troop... That's right, there are only a...
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What if... Even if we took the commission, neither...
If you're interested in helping, why not maybe you can't fill the role yourselves?
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he's... Paimon approved! Hello there! Are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two! Are you really willing to act in my—
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous and fun. But...
if we can't find someone to step... all our sets, and if we had a way to...
To span?
Oh, one last... Nobody wants things to... Yeah, the show just...
Got it! We have a... What if we sponsored the show?
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor. And I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Good point. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... That's how you know she's really good at performing and she...
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous. Her! You're...
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of... But even if she's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. Well, yeah... Fair enough. I mean, I'm sure Of course.
No point in stress. Besides, things are different.
Thank you for your help.
Wait, where does Farina...
As it happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
Woo! Where did you get...
It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, now that we've... Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives... Not that there's anything wrong with this place, it's just...
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Ah! Okay, when did Poppy Go to Thin Air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags. I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
How rude! questioning my cooking skills. The audacity! It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little... Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre faucilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to... Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoot!
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad! Yeah, exactly! What the traveler said! Paimon wasn't... Hang on a sec! You weren't exactly holding back either!
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help!
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific? I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is... But given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your...
How come? It sounds like this would be a breeze for you!
True, but I have made a decision to retire. Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing my... But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same. So I'm not going to perform, and...
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point, okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with, since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I drew a line in the sand.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're...
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the...
It's all right, Farina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed. Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Farina.
Toodaloo to you, too.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Farina's decision. Maybe the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now.
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I—
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to— Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now?
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding.
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little. So, maybe you see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then. Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Farina really so harsh?
Only joking, calm down. So, guess despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be— So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they—
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to— I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a prop. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on. Sure.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list. All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello?
Farina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned. That when you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position, and all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Farina star in our—
There's no need to think like that. And no, I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was—
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Farina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from...
And then disaster.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into... None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of it. It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end.
Oh.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage...
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the Traveler here. After hearing this I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance but only if you feel this is something that would...
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance that...
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epicles is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the... What about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them? An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotions... Take, par exemple...
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Farina's... All right.
Adventure time!
Lady Farina?
What's Lady Farina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Lady... Miss... These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Farina on our behalf.
You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying, the little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human. She longed to live just like any other human. But one day, her true identity was exposed.
So far, so good. A classic.
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, we need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our...
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotion. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since.
Although, now that we have Miss...
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like...
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up...
Oh, stop! You're making me all flustered. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see. He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all that.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson? Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable. So allons-y. To Poisson!
Off we go!
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Alright. Forget that for now. Just...
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward...
So, as expected, he's missed the...
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure...
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the-
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
Please, Must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do? And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't—
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time, which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe. To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of— It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have. I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, it's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around—
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for my— I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me, which, of course, I completely understand and accept. Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or I guess I wasn't quite ready for this.
I'm surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rosula's ship? We should have a view. I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll, and here I am.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my— One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memory, they thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, and all the while, I played my part to perfection. But then the floodwaters finally came. And the hydro...
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only doing your duty.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder. And eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task and was haunted by the thought. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario, that everyone rose to their responsibilities. And I finally but on some level, freedom also means no longer being me.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Reward? I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Farina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart. Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same. I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands. All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have... Sure! Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this—
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing it was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out, I spent some years it was like that. She
sounds like—
She really was. I was the other kids one day. Yeah.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you.
Farina? The Farina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director.
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a
consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, the little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover, and the rest of humanity.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love. One that extended to all of humanity. Surely,
there's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero, and if we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues to—
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, we looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she—
The director?
I've been trying—
Villemont?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone— because— well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply mad—
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she never considered us as potential romantic partners. Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I said, maybe one day in the future, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never—
Oh, Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure—
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Villemont once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over—
Well, if that—
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. Funny you should ask, though.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y!
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
As if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. Wait, why are you all looking at me?
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever—
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Farina said so herself.
Precisely! And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a—
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
Hey, lay off, all right? My bluff is hanging from a thread here. I'm sorry. I got carried away. Please help us out, would you?
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's light it up!
Torn to oblivion! There is no escape!
Verdict is...
I'm going in!
Shine down!
Time for retribution!
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Farina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the...
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why, if I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Fiamma, unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Fiamma. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone, but now I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face the Little Oceanid cannot...
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, we took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's finance... So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performance. It seemed like a win-win. So, I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came. The drink in question was synth.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was but she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay. I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean you were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved... How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered! She was and he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show! How about
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost! I don't ever want to see your—
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent?
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much what she wanted was I understand.
Yeah.
So think hard if you really hate each other. But you can't. What are you laughing at?
Sorry, if she'd seen—
Really? But she sounded like such a...
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding—
I'm truly...
It's all right.
So...
Clearly, the end of the story needs to...
What do you mean?
The travelers, if you could find...
You really think—
I trust that...
No.
Well,
Come.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial still.
So,
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be...
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. She looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiment. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt.
Vacher took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims...
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off. Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are... I'll let you read them.
She was so terrified.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only... I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final day... Wait. This part... If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no...
Isn't that the most important line in the Little Ocean?
Because I am an older sister to...
Oh!
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love. And she... Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director...
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the...
Even in the...
She did her best. We know what...
I will channel. I won't...
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching, if you want to move the audience and aren't human, I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story.
Thank you.
Then...
Actually, before that, I'd like during the curtain.
Huh? But then...
After all, besides...
Well...
All right. I'll leave you to fine-tune your music.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the...
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that O'Reilly's story is unworthy of the...
No, though that's not what I...
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess it... Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette. Hey, look at that! Looks like I guessed right.
You were just guessing?
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Farina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event.
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult. The story of the Little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it perform. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and... in the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom. But I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
Why would you suddenly...
Well, if the Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of the protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the lead. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No, nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to...
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not. I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nervalet.
You are very welcome.
Good news, everyone! It's done! The opera epiclese is thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech. Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting... We've had to fight. A touching story. Now, let's work together.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you...
Communication is vital to any good performance.
It's amazing! Even though for...
Please feel free to give us...
Hey, Loic!
Cursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a...
What should we do? It's almost time for...
Why does...
Hey, what's going on? You're due on Oh no, not again. But why? What about your...
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my dose.
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managed.
I figured whatever it took to get me through this.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my.
I'm sorry. I've let
you. This is a conversation for another.
Miss Farina, I'd like to make a request of you.
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line, but I guess.
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. From the sublime to...
Thank you, Miss Farina.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting into... No one likes regrets. Myself and... Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask what, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
It's her pure heart, despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
Is she here yet?
When she get here?
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Me pardonneras-tu, ô chère mère? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies, et la cité elle nourrit, ainsi que toi, mon doux amour.
But what about your wish?
My... wish...
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Le grand amour ne suffit pas, seul un adieu fleurira. C'est notre histoire de vie, douce et amère. Moi, je serai toujours là, à voir le monde et sa beauté, et ça ne changera jamais, jamais.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Farina on the... She hasn't been seen for a while now. Gotta say, though,
Her acting skills are as super.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself. Still, I have to admit it felt good to be back.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Farina.
Hey! That's not what we agreed on!
Oh, so it was Farina after.
She's back!
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm down, don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack. Paimon flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
Oh, that. I've got no idea what happened there either. But I'll bet the audience has never seen such a realistic prop.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how she's doing.
Let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how if nothing else.
You're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic! Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Farina was on the stage! You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first thing tomorrow morning!
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess...
No, don't worry. Even though you...
I've had bad...
Blaming your bad...
Oh, don't...
Why?
You mean we
So, any plans for the next step? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to you could capitalize on the rave review.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's what we all agree.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. But maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Hey, don't just walk off!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Farina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but...
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. What about you, Miss Farina?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of you rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me maybe Nervillette was right. Maybe Cleo is I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to yeah. There was once a time when I was an actress in a but from now I want to watch them I'm sure.
Sounds like the more you get out into the world, the
If a vision, then I should... ironic to think that in my whole time as a god, and now that the gods have given me their blessing, it actually feels more like this.
Paimon has so many questions about his true identity. Let's go talk to him and find out.
Wait, did I hear that right? Monsieur Nervillette, are you sure you'd like to take over the case yourself?
That's right.
No, but why? Technically speaking, cases like this are better left...
Nervillette! Sadine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Traveler in Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. This is completely unprecedented. How can we have the Udex acting like a private detective?
I trust that you'd be able to work that out with how well connected you are, but I must apologize. I do not plan on relying on anyone else's help for this matter.
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds...
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired at this stage.
I have no no idea why you're so... I've checked the schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, I have no objections.
Thank you for understanding.
Then I shall return to my post for now. Should anyone visit while you are away, I will be sure to make a record of it. I sincerely hope that you will return soon.
Judging from Sadine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally.
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past... There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive! We still have no idea—
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts. Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the Iudex of Fontaine and initiated a series of institutional... There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you!
Indeed. Unfortunately, the reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines. All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human... Granted that many common folk believe that I share some of them. I have nothing. It is already...
There's the guard...
Based on the politicals, however...
Outside, but aren't you the...
I understand where you know very well about my true identity, and have... Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between taking on the role of... I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider, a fish out of water.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your investigation? Let's team up and round up all the bad guys lurking in the dark.
That does not sound like a bad idea. I rarely investigate cases on my own, but with professionals like you around...
Oh, Paimon's starting to get...
Let us go. We should visit Kiara first and try to gain a better
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed perspective on... Paimon's been thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Thank you for your suggestion. I will consider using the more accurate term in private occasions. Please allow me to rephrase. Has a dragon out of water?
Ugh. That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
I never thought I'd see him here.
Does anyone have a camera?
We should have gone up to him and...
Yeah, that was the perfect opportunity.
weather's amazing today.
Kiara,
Monsieur Neuvillette! And oh, I remember! You're the traveler. Aw, she's adorable! Hey there, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember now. The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. It said something about catching me, so I thought someone wanted to play hide and seek. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen with everyone looking after me, right?
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious? Ah! Did you think of something? Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it's...
Oh, let's see. Found it.
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and... A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writers, and we can't rule out that possibility. Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais Mammonia to review some official documents. Kiara, you should come with us. It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure! Wait, no. I still have a case to work on. I promised Alof that I'd check on her plate.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about it! Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon. Don't worry.
All right. Let us go our separate ways for now.
We'll take her to a lost place right away. See you around! So, Kiara, how old are you? Let me think. 1, 2, 10? I can't remember. But I remember coming to the Court of Fontaine with Carol and Neuvillette. That must have been a long time ago. Carol? Didn't Neuvillette mention her just now? That was more than 400 years ago. Why would Paimon be a big sister to you? My memory isn't that good. But Carol told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more grown up than me, so you're a big sis. Huh, Paimon sees. Hey, Traveler, did you hear that? Strange. Paimon. Alof!
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two...
Oh, they're the Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
I thought so. What brings you here? All right. Guess I shouldn't have asked.
May I begin inspecting the store as planned?
Of course. Go ahead.
No hazards detected. You've cleared the inspection. Seems like the criminal from that case last month. That was quick. What were you inspecting? I took a look around the shop. Neuvillette says that us Melazines have special eyes that can see things people can't. Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melazines can see their residual stains for some time. Pretty cool, huh?
All right. Now that you're done inspecting, can we have a chat? Hear me out. I'm planning to release an outfit for children next month and wanted to hire you.
Of course! Is there anything I need?
Please wait a moment while I take your measurements. This sample should be a perfect.
Seems like they get along really well. Huh? What are you looking at? Is there really someone watching us? Shh!
Strange. Why isn't he back yet?
Gotcha! Ah! Charlotte, what are you doing? Oh, wait, don't tell Paimon you're the one who sent Kiara that threatening letter.
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only want—
You want to interview him?
That's right! I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us, and we never have the chance to interrupt when the court's in session. So imagine how surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. The perfect opportunity to whip up an Of course, I'll make sure to turn in my manuscript to him for review. I have my principles, and I'd never publish an article without the consent of all parties involved.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now. In exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
All right.
What? Someone's targeting a cute little Melody.
Shh, not so loud.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. Last month, in fact. It was well received by our readers, so I was planning to continue the series. And now someone's coming after her. I'll ask my colleagues about it. Who knows? We might find something. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing. This secret's safe with me. But I gotta warn you, even if I keep my lips sealed, others will know eventually.
Why?
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvrelet's each and every move. Anyway, I'll get going now.
Well, that was a nice chat.
What do you think? The design looks pretty good, huh?
I think it's great.
Huh.
Harad! What are you doing here? It seems that you just showed up
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia, I heard that Neuvrelet was investigating. Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. It didn't feel right to have my employer personally take on such trivial cases. I happened to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom-made at this boutique, in any case, so we always have a lot to talk about.
Neuvrelet sure is lucky to have someone like—
Leave this to me. You should go meet up with Neuvrelet.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands. Come on, let's—
How has your work been recently?
Same as usual. My schedule normally isn't too packed, so I have plenty of time for myself.
Ooh, then shall we go out to play? How about— I've even signed up as a volunteer lifeguard. I'm really good at swimming, so I'm sure—
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
We ran into Cloran. She offered to help us protect Kiara.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities.
We thought so too. Well, did you find any...
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports. I've come up with 2 plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflict. Don't worry. Thank you. Have you made any progress?
We skimmed through some of them, but there wasn't anything useful. Oh, there's so many documents lying around. Just how many cases have you handled?
I would love to answer that question, but the truth is I've never made a precise calculation myself. If memory serves me right, there should be at least 100,000 cases. The documents you see are just a
Whoa, that's a lot. Looks like...
That might be how it seems from another's perspective, but trials and official duties are, to me, simply routine. There are many documents here. Take a break if you are tired.
You read Paimon's mind.
All right, let us take a break.
Even though resting is a part of taking a break, shouldn't we at least talk about some? All this silence is making Paimon feel really
Please pardon my lack of consideration. People rarely come to the Palais Memonia for matters outside of work. Would you like to have some drinks, perhaps? You must be thirsty after all that.
Ooh, drinks! Thank you! Paimon wonders what Novelette likes to drink. Oh, maybe he's a fan of really fancy... He seems like the type of person who'd own an entire winery. You know, like D-Luke. What's inside these glasses? It looks just like water.
An astute observation. It is indeed water.
So it's just plain old water?
What did you think it was?
Since you're the Chief Justice and all, Paimon thought you'd prefer something more...
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an overstatement to call it sophisticated.
Huh?
I believe you've already tried Fonta. In fact, there are many other drink factories in Fontaine, including those that specialize in packaging pure drinking water. Said water is sourced from all across Tevat, including Mondstadt's Cider Lake, Liyue's Chintsa Village, and Inazuma's Konda Village. Here is one of their latest products, water from Sumeru's Apam Woods. If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, the waters of Cider Lake warm the heart, the waters of Chintsa Village have a poignant touch, while one might call the waters of Konda Village... Distinct differences exist between the waters of each area. You will appreciate...
Really? Let Paimon try!
What do you think? How regrettable. It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining your tastes.
Hey, this doesn't have to do with refining our taste. Paimon's pretty sure most ordinary people can't tell the difference. How did you do it? Oh, could it be because you're the Hydro Dragon? We are allowed to bring that up, right? Oh, Paimon's been wanting to ask this for ages. If you're the Hydro Dragon... Sorry, Paimon was just...
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thoughts. I accepted this position because I wanted to seek out answers to questions that have perplexed me.
Questions? Are there really things you can't figure...
Many, in fact. But the one question that puzzles me the most concerns my own... In essence, I neither know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand where my For a long time, my memory was rather incomplete. With regard to the primordial sea, for example, I used to only be able to vaguely recall its connection to me, but I was unaware of what that connection was exactly. Perhaps the element...
True.
I have been holding on, but there is one thing. My guess would be that there are at least some similarity.
Have you made any...
Perhaps, but that's why I'm quite...
Are we gonna...
I wasn't able to...
Water? Do you mean...
That's right. The Fountain of If there is... Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by...
Why didn't...
Perhaps we should go. There shouldn't be too many people near the Fountain of Lucine during...
Monsieur Neuvillette? Are they headed towards the Fountain of Lucine?
I probably shouldn't disturb them. I wonder what's going...
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do next? Oh, Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few steps back and keep a safe distance.
A safe distance? Neverlet, what it... Whoa, it's glowing! Thank you for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvillette. The Court of Fontaine is truly incredible. There's so many things I've never seen or heard before.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaussée Phantom. I'm certain you'll become an indispensable part of Fontaine's detective force.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of help. Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, it feels like my life has become a lot more meaningful.
But a meaningful life also comes with its
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village. But I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel this. I too came here for an answer to my questions about.
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in? The truth is...
Logically speak, different identity. There aren't many.
Oh, I'm confident.
I believe in you.
Huh?
Yes?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him. It felt like
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Thanks, but no need.
Oh. Hello. I'm Carol. A Melusine. Is there a...
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards.
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any...
Hard to say.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized? Strange incidents have...
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Nervilet allowed them into the Court of Fontaine just like...
Exactly! That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well. I swear, there's some hidden agenda at play.
Go away! Quit acting innocent!
I'm not leaving. I won't let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the Maréchaussée Phantom and solved lots and lots of cases. We've never...
Solving cases? With Nervilet in cahoots with you? You could have fabricated it all, and no... So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melusines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Didn't I tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Vautrin?
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Maréchaussée Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy, and I understand your concern. However, there's been no evidence...
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side. Nervilet's newly reformed police force is already corrupt to the core.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Yeah. I don't understand.
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around. There are countless negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible for you to become a part of this society.
Monsieur Nervilet said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take, but I can at least try making my... I still want to try a little harder. Okay, I won't be taking any more of your time. I painted a lot of flyers last night, so I have to stay and hand them out to everyone.
Give them to me.
You're not gonna take them away?
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin. Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping Melusines gain the trust of humans.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melusines begin living peacefully with the humans. Just the thought of it makes me happy.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that...
You blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could undermine the hard work you've put in. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Neuvillette, even with all our powers combined. What if...
Nah, not gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take us out personally. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. Unless he wants to become an enemy of Fontaine. So quit worrying and just go ahead with it. I've already planned out the murder. Once we lay the blame on the Melusines as the person who brought them to the court of Fontaine, Neuvillette will be left with no excuse.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come to this.
Turn the murderer in!
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Neuvillette, too!
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke! Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
The results of the investigation are in, Captain.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime, they tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvillette confess to his mistakes and yield up power. The guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carroll chose to sacrifice herself to pacify the situation.
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth? She didn't have to prove her innocence like that.
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards.
That is indeed.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to?
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young. She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. People, from the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. Because I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront New Villette. They even avoided causing trouble for me. They were after Carol. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind. Only through bloodshed.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette...
That's exactly why we need... I will take responsibility for everything.
Did you know? They're hearing a major case today. Apparently, I'm thinking... Bail him out? Shh, keep... Besides... Vautrin sought vengeance for his... Please, think about it. If the same thing had... Yeah, that's right!
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol. How could Vautrin be declared guilty for seeking revenge?
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent! He's innocent!
Order! I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, your revenge could be seen as a form. I understand your decision, which is why I cannot help but feel regret and even grief about the judgment. Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions. Your actions have... Therefore, you will be...
What? That can't be! Monsieur Neuvillette, please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Vautrin, my friend, is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvillette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vautrin will be declared.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvillette.
This all happened because of Carol's naive idea.
How can different species peacefully...
What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me. I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it still caused the emotions within due to my negligence. The overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well.
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought. Anyways, the last time we came here, the Traveler only heard voices from the Fountain of Lucine. No...
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine. Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
That sounds odd.
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. Which ones? It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not mean I am deliberately hiding them. It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that form. You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this. These two cases are much too similar.
Paimon's starting to lose. The only Paimon
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its... I don't know what caused this to happen, but it seems like there won't be a shortcut to finding the organization that may... However, I did find some resentment directed towards Kiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be related to a...
Oh! Didn't we read about that in one of the...
You've read about it? In that case, the resentment should have come from that incident.
Huh? What are you doing here? I was just about to look.
Navia! Nice to see you again! Is there something we can help with?
I've heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case. So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately. Maybe you'll find the suspects among them.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all...
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless eyes watching you. You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information, then it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letter spread all across Fontaine.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed. I did not expect that this could be kept hidden for too long, but the rumors still spread faster than I imagined.
You know, it could be because you attract... Anyway, any progress with the
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact another party behind all this. We are planning to return to the Palais Marmonia to revisit some details and identify the senders of that threatening letter.
Alright, then I'll round up this... Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Neverlet, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. As a matter of fact, once the word gets out, no one... What is more important is how the case... I hope the same won't happen again. But...
Strange. What are these people doing out on... Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melusine! This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice...
What? That's it! Who's been threatening Melusines?
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of hiding will keep us from...
That's exactly what I wanted to say. The guards have already begun to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons...
It feels like you've been following me this whole time.
We were informed that.
Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
Come on, don't act tough. I bet you're...
All right.
You shouldn't ever skip meals, especially if you have another shift scheduled for later.
I heard even Nervilette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Nervilette wasn't involved?
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted.
That's more like it. We should stand guard until the criminal has been caught.
Come and fight me instead, you cow!
Have you heard? Even the special patrol came...
Shh! Look! Is it that Nervilette?
Looks like there's nothing to worry about.
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over and...
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Marmonia. The faster we uncover the truth, the better. The smuggling case was solved by the list of involved.
What does it say?
The principal offense. Those with close. Among them?
So many.
Yes, it seems like he's closely related.
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina du Rasula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting."
Huh? How did Navia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head up.
Hey, Navia, we're here! Whoa. Check out all these people!
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Marechaussee Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to...
Invite them over.
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
I've wanted to have a meet.
But... oh well. Let's get back to business. Is there anyone called...
Yes, that's me.
You're Essa?
Yes, miss...
Did you write that threatening letter to Chiara?
I did, but I was just following orders.
Orders from whom?
Domenico. He was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico. Where is he now?
The fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina... Looks like you'll have to make the trip yourselves. This was as much as I could do.
You've done more than enough. I am extremely grateful for your...
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first, if he really is the one...
All right, then.
Welcome to the Fortress of Meropide, dear esteemed guests.
We're back! Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself! Guess we made a name for ourselves at this place.
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief Justice, showed up. Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase. I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to round up the other inmates and instigate a protest.
Who does this guy think he is? Paimon hopes nothing came of it.
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. And now he's threatening Melazines, is he? To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag. Is there something else going on behind the scenes here?
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and have my
That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he's at...
Oh, did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened? Siegeween! Kiara gonna be...
There's no need to worry. Clarand is protecting her as we speak.
Well, that's great. But if the criminal's still... Is there anything you can do about that?
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me to personally deal?
Writhsley.
Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you.
Think of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not to formally transfer a criminal for trial. Thanks for the trouble. Consider me in your debt.
Whoa! If Paimon were the Duke, Paimon would take this chance to ask for something really important.
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Neuvillette would reject that. But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Please come with me to the infirmary. And watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas, so make sure you don't trip over anything.
Did Neuvillette just walk by?
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh?
I must have been...
I'm Oriel, a member of the Mutual Aid Network.
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and Paimon's not that thirsty, but thanks any— Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about. Typical Sejuin. Concerned about everyone's health as— why aren't you two saying anything?
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on their chests looked quite familiar.
Familiar? But if both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
That's not a bad idea. I will stay here.
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
What's that?
We have a very long history, going back as far as 400 years ago. We have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation, but everyone treats each other like family. Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time, we seek to maintain just—
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
All we want is to defend ourselves. None of us have ever committed serious crimes, and we're not especially powerful either. We're at a natural disadvantage here in the fortress. But people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid? If you'd like to learn more, here's our flyer. Our slogan here.
You two look... It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network designed by our first president. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals. The first president, all of us
We should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk to Neuvillette.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
Mm-hmm. The people who wore the badges belong to an organization. According to them, the badge's design was inspired.
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol and Vautrin. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong.
Oh, so the network was inspired by...
Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office.
All right. Let us talk to him first.
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman. Why don't you explain everything?
Neuvillette? What do you want?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you if... Was it your idea to send that letter to a melody? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any...
That idiot! I can't believe I trusted...
Let me ask this another way. Who is pulling you?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine, I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth.
I can do that.
You see? We're all reasonable.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and but I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melazines? Over that?
My initial target was... But for some... In the end, I recall that Chiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection. So I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Chiara and force it to resign from the Marechaussee Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling...
Yes. And that's all I...
Sigewinne, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melazines to stir up...
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared.
And how long ago was this
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melazines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing. I trust that they would make different choices from before.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melazines.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them. When people refuse to place... For almost 5 people no longer... Right now...
Paimon gets it now.
I am undeserved. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for... It is unnecessary.
There's no need. You're no longer...
I must say that thank you for...
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to...
Please.
The first is about the guard who helped up...
I know of... The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memoria's staff.
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, those from up... I'll have a chat...
I see no issue.
Great!
The other thing was...
Yep.
I noticed the small... I've looked into their... According to... In other words...
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had every right to feel that way.
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one. That's all from me. Does anyone else have anything to say?
I don't have anything to say. Apart from expressing my... Well then, let us head back. No need to...
Please, take care.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Risley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on hey!
What I really think, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person. These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself. I will try to contemplate this further.
Oh, huh? It's raining! Oh no, Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Nervillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
Is the matter resolved?
Yep, we found the person who sent that threat.
Oh, that's...
Sorry for...
There's no need to...
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved.
At the Palais Mermonia, more than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to look out for danger. I was worried that the excess of protection...
Whatever.
Well, now it looks like to celebrate...
That's not how...
I will... Of course. My schedule is full. Come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes! Thank you so much, Monsieur!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communiqué to... I hope it will assuage the concern. Kiara?
Monsieur Neuvillette? Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep.
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of that threat.
Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always...
Do you remember Domenico? He was...
Let me think. I can't remember. By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, Kiara. I can't remember what our dreams were anymore, and I don't know why. but I felt really happy.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too? Oh, I almost forgot. Am I allowed to go up? I promised to model for Alov.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur, Traveler, and Big Sis Paimon.
See you next time. I once thought that time was of no consequence to me. Distance yourself from others and stay focused on your work. A few years or a few hundred, but after all this, the passing of time.
Afraid? Or do you not even have the courage to be afraid? Is it my turn now? With these rising flames!
Illusion shattered!
Everybody stand back!
Is it my turn now?
You shall perish!
Now that's more like it. Is it my turn now?
There is no escape!
With these rising flames!
Burn!
Let's light it up! I'm going in!
Spare your energy. Running is of little use. The countdown has begun. Have a taste of purgatory.
You will pay for that.